What's up, everybody? Hard Pass Live. Coming back at you. We have NFL Cut Day in week 1 of college football. Remy, what's going on, man?
Dude, what's up, man?
Dude,
How's it going?
How you doing, bro?
Dude, pretty good. I love Cut Day. I like the new NFL where it's like all the cuts basically happen at once. Makes for a very interesting day.
But it's like
the NFL. What's
up, Matt? Yeah, but it's like a slow burn because it's like some teams are trying to trade people. Teams slowly cut their roster back until the deadline, which is today, of course, at time. But we'll talk about that in a minute. We're just kind of get everybody warmed up. We have Cut Day, of course. We have college football. Gamecocks play this week. We're gonna break down that game a little bit. We're gonna talk some. We're gonna look at all the slate, as you will. Of course, it is Labor Day weekend coming up. Anything special you got planned for Labor Day weekend?
Wild weekend, bud. Wild weekend. Going to the Gamecocks game on Saturday night. We get Georgia State as a night game, of course. I'm going to go see the new LED lights from the parking lot because I'm not going into the game. And then we, God knows what time we'll get back that night. Go to sleep, wake back up, drive to Darlington, and watch the first race of the NASCAR playoffs.
That's pretty cool that it's in Darlington.
It's Darlington, baby.
How much for tickets?
$40, $50, I think.
That's not bad at all.
They weren't bad at all. No, pretty good seats right on, I think, turn 4. Kind of same place we sat last year. So Darlington, of course, for those of you who are not NASCAR fans, is known as the track that is too tough to tame. It is very, very difficult track for a lot of drivers. They also call it the Lady in Black because all the people hitting the wall, they leave black stripes on the wall.
So it's weird. I'm not a big NASCAR guy, but I remember watching it because when I was young, we would always go. Our church would take us to watch Darlington, and one of the turns I remember it gets like really sharply weird. Where it's not like a flat normal turn. You have to really jerk into it, and a lot of people just hit the wall right there.
Ton of people hit the wall. It's wild. You think people that have done this for so long, and it's just turning the car left. Sometimes you don't turn it left enough, and you end up hitting the wall. If it's anything like last weekend's race in Daytona, then we're in for a show. But it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see. This is my third NASCAR race, second one in Darlington that I've gone to. But this one means something. This is the playoffs. Playoff, it's kind of the way they set it up. Basically, it's in I think it's like 4 races, and then they eliminate. I think it's 3 drivers or 4 drivers up until the last race, when there's I think 4 people left, and it's just out of those 4 people who comes the highest wins the championship. So it's not the cumulative points matter up until that last race, but the last race of the season is out of the top 4 people that are still left, who finishes the highest in that one race. And last year it was crazy because they finished 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it was pretty wild. A lot of the other drivers will get out of their way. They'll get out of their way and let them race. So they finished 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's pretty wild. So
I'm going to tune in Sunday.
You should, dude.
I'm going to watch. I've been watching a little more and more of because
I know you've been high into the F1 stuff.
Yeah, big Formula 1 guy. I love it. But then it's kind of like a lull where I'm like, why don't I just because Formula 1's 6 a.m. for me.
Yeah.
7 a.m. a lot of times. So it's over at 8 a.m.
Yeah.
So then on Sundays, it's like, I know you guys, you always go and watch the race together. Stuff. I was like, man, why don't I start watching the race too? Yeah. It's kind of interesting. I'm going to pull for my boy Suarez.
Hey, not a bad driver to root for.
So
not a bad one. Watch Blaney take that W. I mean, now would be the time. Now would be the time to get that win. It's kind of the same thing. If you win,
you get a bunch
of basically points. Are locked into moving to the next round. So
Okay.
If he gets that win, that'll mean a lot.
Are we a NASCAR pod? Do we?
I mean, I watch every race now. Every race I watch. It's gonna be tough though. It's gonna be tough because, Sundays, something's gonna be taking up some more of my time.
Woo! Yeah.
NASCAR may be delegated to the side television, if you know
So,
what I'm saying.
how many races are in the playoffs for NASCAR?
I have to look. It's 10, I think. I can tell you. Let me look it up.
You're gonna have to have a multi-screen setup going on there, brother.
Let's take a look here. NASCAR playoffs.
Well, while he's looking that up,
16 eligible drivers. So we've got our field of 16.
Every week's a cut?
No, I think it's every 3 races. 3 or 4. 10 races, 4 rounds. So, yeah, they basically go through, and at the end of the first 3 rounds, 4 drivers are eliminated.
Okay.
16 to 12, 12 to 8, 8 to 4. So the last race is the final.
It's a final 4. That's pretty cool. That is pretty interesting. So 10 races is right, he said. So, well, that's something, it sounds like you got a pretty big weekend ahead of you, sir.
Yeah.
We have some kind
of rest on Monday.
Matt was wanting to do some little work business retreat thing in the mountains, so we're seeing about that. So we'll see. We'll see what goes down on my end. I know it's 110 degrees here, and your boy cannot wait for fall. It's been a long summer,
God,
bro.
I bet. It's been nice here, man. We hit 90 today for the first time in a couple of weeks.
Really?
We've been in the 80s, bro. It's been lovely. It's just been weird. I'm not used to it, man. I'm used to middle of August in South Carolina being brutal.
Yeah.
But it hasn't been that bad this year. It's been kind of weird.
You say that, and then the Georgia game's going to come around. It's going to be back to 95 degrees.
105 or some dumb shit. So
right.
I'm well aware.
Well aware. Chat, you can tell us what y'all got going on this weekend. Let us know
holiday weekends.
Any crazy holiday weekend activities. Always like to talk about them. Remy, I guess we can start talking a little NFL cut. I'll let you have it this one for a minute.
Well, NFL cut day. So it's not always about the cuts. It's just what happens on this day that becomes kind of crazy. I think the biggest one was Jimmy Garoppolo redoing his deal to stay in San Francisco.
Yep.
So he is going to stay there unless a trade materializes. Took a massive pay cut.
Be a backup.
And just is going to be the backup. I mean, I think that's been the agreement for a while. Unless Trey gets hurt, Jimmy G will stay and be the backup. It is crazy. I've never been a Jimmy G guy. I've never been on his bandwagon, but I will say a guy that's taking you to a Super Bowl and an NFC Championship 2 out of the last 3 years to now be the backup is crazy just to think about. But I think it's the right move. I think it's one of those situations where the 49ers looked at it and said, in order for us to get over the hump, we've got to try and be better at the quarterback position. Now, whether Trey's better, we don't know.
We'll see.
The ceiling's higher,
For sure. And I think once you go all in on Trey, like they did, you got to give him a chance.
Yep.
So
I'm just going to rattle off a couple of cuts and a couple of moves that were made today. It looks like the end has finally come for Josh Gordon. He was released by the Chiefs. He wasn't making any real noise this offseason. It looks like it's probably over, and it's about time. Josh Gordon looks like his days in the NFL are done. One of the more surprising cuts to me was Marlon Mack being cut by the Texans. They have a rookie running back in Dameon Pierce now that looks like he's going to be the RB1. I thought Marlon Mack had a chance. Marlon Mack was a really good football player for the Colts. Then he fortunately gets injured. Jonathan Taylor takes off and just never looks back with that starting position. I thought Marlon Mack would have a good chance there. Got cut. This one, I don't know if you remember last offseason, there was all this talk of Kellen Mond potentially taking Kirk Cousins' job.
Yes.
It was wild because I watched Kellen Mond play in college. He can't throw. He never could throw. He was never a
weird
good
throwing
passer.
motion.
Weird throwing motion, not an accurate guy. Athletic, not an accurate guy. There was all this weird talk that he was going to take Kirk Cousins' job. Now, here we are 1 year later. He's been cut because he's not good. So he's gone. We had a couple of big names put on the PUP list today. Mm-hmm. Byron Jones for the Dolphins is officially on the PUP list. He will miss at least the first 4 games. Tre'Davious White, corner for the Bills, also put on the PUP list, will be out for the first 4 games as well. I'm just going to run through and name some names that were kind of their names. You know, not all these guys are stars, but they're people that you would expect will bounce back and pick up a roster spot somewhere. Dolphins released Sony Michel. That one, we picked him up late in the offseason, expected him to be 3rd running back, maybe get some stuff done. Nope. See ya. Lynn Bowden released. Thought he had a role, maybe as a kick returner or something like that. So he's gone. And then Solomon Kinley was a guard we took 2 years ago who started his entire rookie year, was a backup last year, and now he's cut. Thought he might have had a chance to make the roster. He is gone. Just scrolling down here, we've got the Browns. I think the only thing with the Browns, Josh Rosen. See ya, there's the door. Dear God, man, what an awful, awful pick he ended up being.
Yeah.
Looking back. Let me just scroll through these teams. I'm just going to name names, like I said. That
the Panthers traded for Chenault, which was interesting.
You got the Panthers traded for Laviska Shenault. The Eagles traded for Gardner Johnson, the starting safety for the Saints. Apparently, Saints, they wanted to come to a contract agreement, couldn't come to a contract extension, so the Saints shipped him to the Eagles. The Eagles desperately needed safety help. Their safety room was pretty bad. Now they get a pretty good starting safety for I think a 5th and a 6th.
5th and a 6th, I think is what's going to shake out to.
So
they got to send a 7th with him or something. On a 7th back.
Pretty good trade on their end. Just looking through here, nothing shocking from the Falcons for anyone they cut. Laquan Treadwell got released by the Jaguars. Just another guy that was a 1st-round pick who never panned out to become anything.
He held on. He battled.
Offensive lineman Darrell Williams. I think you're well aware of Darrell Williams. Let's see. Nothing really jumps out for the Cowboys.
Carolina
Giants
traded Dennis Daly. Backup lineman.
Yep. A couple of trades today. Some
Titans.
People looking for
some depth.
Some pieces. Yep. I read a report. The Giants want to move on from Kenny Galladay already, which this is how you become a poorly run organization.
Yeah.
You go and you make a guy the highest paid wide receiver in free agency 1 year, and the very next year you want to trade him. This is why, for me, when I'm giving out big money, I'm giving out big money to sure things. And I like Galladay, but I always just felt like he was just a big play dude. Never really saw it. So, of course, nothing has happened.
I think Kenny Galladay is a good football player.
It's the same thing we talked about.
We talked about with like Christian Kirk and stuff. It's not worth the money. The money can be placed other places.
Yeah,
I think Kenny Galladay on a good team with the right quarterback. I just don't think that the Giants are a good football club.
So outside of Josh Gordon, the Chiefs also released former 1st-round pick Danny Shelton at defensive tackle.
Yeah,
he's gone. The Eagles, after they made the trade for Gardner Johnson, cut their previous starting safety, Anthony Harris. He's gone. Jalen Reagor made the team. There was a lot of talk that he might not make the roster. He did end up making it. So we will see more of Jalen Reagor. The Bengals
maybe not.
Maybe not. The Bengals cut former 2nd-round pick Noah Spence, pass rusher out of Eastern Kentucky, who was supposed to have some upsides, just never really lived up to it.
Yeah.
There, nothing really shocking coming out of Detroit. The Vikings, like I said, cut Kellen Mond. So that was, 1 year in, moved on from
Panthers
him.
was thinking about cutting old Marshall.
I had heard that there was talks about him maybe not making the roster because of the moves that Shi
His
Smith has
talent
made.
is good. He's insane. He makes crazy catches in practice.
Mm-hmm.
He just misses every other practice.
He's just hurt. He's just a hurt guy. This is one of the funnier ones to me. The Seahawks just recently traded for J.J. Arcega-Whiteside and traded him. They traded J.J. Arcega-Whiteside to the Seahawks. Seahawks cut him. Didn't make the roster. It's wild to me. You make these trades and they last 2 weeks. Bills cut O.J. Howard, another guy who just thought had all the talent in the world, has never panned out.
Just never worked.
No, thought he was going to be a really good NFL tight end and just has not panned out. Baltimore Ravens released starting safety Tony Jefferson. They did draft Kyle Hamilton in the first round. So kind of writing was on the wall, but that's a good football player. He's going to end up.
He's going to land somewhere.
He's going to land somewhere quick and probably be a starting safety wherever he ends up. Like I said, I'm just kind of scrolling through looking for names that maybe can pick up. Colts cut Phillip Lindsay. He was kind of looking like he was on track to be the backup running back there.
Yeah.
Didn't really need him because the bell cow. But if anything were to happen to Jonathan Taylor, that's a name right there that you would think you would want to keep around. But
he's a guy that kind of bounced around now.
Yep. He was a Dolphin there for a little bit last year. Let's see. Okay. So one of the big ones, and this one me and you were talking about a little earlier today. The Las Vegas Raiders released last year's first round draft pick, Alex Leatherwood. Not only did they release him, they have to eat, $9.5 million in dead cap for a second-year offensive lineman. That is wild.
Yeah, that's how bad he is.
Dude, everyone knew it. Like, everyone knew it.
To be fair, they tried to move him around. They tried to put him in guard.
They did everything.
They did everything they could.
They tried left tackle, right tackle, guard. Coming into the draft, there were massive question marks about him. Now, he was a really good player at Alabama, of course. Sometimes you get that bump for being an Alabama player. Mm-hmm. But there were question marks, and a lot of people had him as a second, maybe third round draft pick. And the Raiders said, no, first 17th overall, I think, made it 1 year, and they released him.
Yeah.
I know I sent you the list. I sent a couple of people. The list was Mike Mayock's run of first round draft picks. Now, Mike Mayock got fired after the draft last year.
Rightfully so.
But his first round draft picks, oh man,
They're pretty bad. They're tough.
None of them have gotten a fifth-year option. Hell, 2 years ago it was Damon Arnett and Henry Ruggs. Henry Ruggs is in jail. Damon Arnett's on his way to going to jail with the things he does off the court.
Yeah.
Off the field. And then now you have Alex Leatherwood, who literally, they took Clellan Ferrell with the fourth pick out of Clemson. Mm-hmm. He's
terrible. He's terrible.
It was a bad run for old Mike Mayock. Now, they did make up some of it by drafting very well in the late rounds, but the early rounds, boy, they were bad. Let's take a look. I don't know of any other big names outside of that. The Patriots took a couple years ago in the draft, took two tight ends in the third round. They are both officially released and have finished their Patriot career with a whopping combined 5 receptions.
Yeah.
That's bad. We give New England a lot of breaks. New England's been a pretty bad drafting team for a while now. They get some breaks because they make up for some of it with having Bill Belichick.
Oh, it's almost like, he's going to work out. Well, you kind of forget the bad misses and you want to talk about the good hits. For sure.
And so they've been
You're also a
bad.
salty Dolphins fan, so.
Well, no, I mean, I got a list of them if you want me to go through about how bad they've been drafted. I'll send it to you. And you look through that list of Patriots draft picks. Of course,
you got a list of how bad the Patriots drafts been.
I mean, I'll spin them, dude.
No, we're good. We're good on that.
I'm sending this to you, and you're gonna change your tone. Sending you this list now. It's bad.
We're good on that. So, you want to talk some college football? Football. So, before we talk that, about fantasy, we're not doing fantasy focus this Thursday. We are recording more NFL spotlight stuff. The AFC South will be released tonight, probably 2 hours or so after this ends. We've recorded 2 of them. We need to record 2 more, but that'll be released tonight. So look out for that tomorrow. If you got something you're bored, you want something to listen to,
or if you're a fan of any of the teams in the AFC South, give them a listen. See what you think about our thoughts on your team.
What opening the first game's next Thursday?
NFL?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
next Thursday.
Who is it? Who plays next Thursday?
The Thursday game is Buffalo Bills, Los Angeles Rams.
That's a good ass game.
That's a good game. This year, thank God, only one Monday night game to start the season. I hated the
double Monday. Hey, for me out here, I love it.
Well, yeah, because you get a normal time game. It starts at like 10:15 our time.
I know.
So I'm glad they're done with that. But we get Buffalo, Los Angeles opening game of the season in LA. Should be a hell of a game. I think those are 2 teams that a lot of people are going to say that's a potential Super Bowl matchup. That is a potential.
I don't think you would be crazy to say that. You know, next week you'll get, or this week we're doing more college football stuff, that kind of breakdown. Next Tuesday,
you get the NFL extravaganza.
We're going to break down schedules. We're going to give out predictions, winners, and a whole lot of shit. We got a lot of shit planned for that. So that'll be next Tuesday, of course. We're going to go and switch it up. So we had week 0. Did you watch any week 0?
Week 0 didn't disappoint. I enjoyed week 0.
I actually, dude, last year, I'm going to be honest with you. College football was kind of a bummer for me. But I actually enjoyed week 0. I watched a lot of the games.
I had a good time watching week 0. The Nebraska Northwestern game, that was in Ireland. That was a hell of a football game. Just some wild stuff going on. The power went out or something in the stadium. They're just giving everyone free beer.
Their internet went out.
Their internet went out. You got a giant beer snake going through the crowd. It was wild. It was an electric atmosphere, and it was a hell of a football game. I mean, I don't necessarily think either team's very good, but it was a really good game. I enjoyed the hell out of that football game.
I agree. We're gonna go picture in picture here. Casey Thompson. I tell you what, there's nothing in this world that he loves more than any ex-Texas player that just didn't work, or an Oklahoma player.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Free beer, baby. I know the free beer was pretty cool. We're gonna go picture in picture here. Gonna drop this off. Hang with us in a second. All right. So, as you see, I was doing. I have my depth charts up from what we were doing earlier. But, real quick, we're not going to break down all these games, but the one, Northwestern Nebraska, what a wild game. Nebraska was a double digit. They were up by double digits twice in this football game. Their head coach has got to be on the hot seat.
Oh, for sure. They showed a record. It was like 3-20 when he's not leading at halftime since he's taken over. 3-21
bro. You can't lose to Northwestern.
No, not in that.
They were a double-digit favorite,
and the onside kick, like, that's one
of the worst onside kicks.
Choice. I mean, I get what you're going for. You're trying to, bury them and run away with it, but it ended up biting them in the ass.
Oh, 1,000%.
So, but going a little bit to the Homer side of things, Ryan Helinski looked pretty good.
Ryan Helinski had a damn good game.
He looked pretty damn good. And as a South Carolina Gamecock fan, I'm rooting for the kid to be successful. He's a really good kid.
We're not Caleb Williams in here.
Yeah, exactly. Everything him and his family have gone through, you can't help but root for him. It did sting a little bit, though. It stung just a little bit watching him. Like, oh man,
I need videos to stop playing.
Just another one of those guys that
just
we had so much hope for.
Yeah.
And then,
Illinois ended up beating the shit out of our Wyoming pick. UConn covered. UConn was up 14-0, and then of course they're not great, so they ended up losing.
Great. They're
Florida State ran Duquesne out. This game was in a massive rain delay. It was like a monsoon.
I picked Duquesne for the outright win, and I blame the rain. I blame the rain for me not winning that one.
You know what? Who cares about this?
All I know is Vanderbilt, Hawaii. Hawaii was the favorite in this game?
No. Vanderbilt was an 8-point favorite.
Were they? Okay.
But
I'm pretty
wasn't
sure
enough?
Someone in this podcast ever picked Hawaii to win the game.
Hey, I'm always going to pick my Rainbow Warriors.
I mean, they lost 63-10 to Vanderbilt.
I'm always going to pick my Rainbow Warriors. They've never seen a dual threat quarterback a day in their life.
It just means more.
Dude, Vanderbilt, that's kind of cool for Vanderbilt, though.
To go out and just
really demoralizing for Hawaii, but imagine I get to see those whole scenes and just show up and put 60.
I'd love to know the last time Vanderbilt scored 63 points. That's what I want to know. We need to get the stats guy on it.
It just means more. SEC boys, that's right. More. This is bullshit, by the way. This is week. That's not
it's
correct.
Week. Well, it includes this week too. Week one on theirs is last week and this week, which is
so weird.
So if
it does,
schedule, okay. I'm under schedule, and it'll give you a little bit different view of it. But yeah,
all right. So then we have, of course, Thursday night game, which is right around the corner. How about that, dude? We're back. Everybody, we did it. We did it.
We
fucking did it, dude.
We made it through the long, dull summer to get back to football season. We're back.
Football season's back. Soon enough, the weather's going to be changing, hopefully. Leaves are going to be changing. We got pigskin and, Thanksgiving around the corner. I mean, dude, we're back.
Your boys got Halloween. Some vacation time coming.
Let's go. All right, so we got Central Michigan, Oklahoma State. Interesting ball game. Which is greater? Vandy's points versus Hawaii. Ooh.
Oh man.
You know what? I'm gonna say that they're gonna lose a lot of football games. They have a kind of a talented quarterback.
I think they'll put up some points. They'll probably have a couple games where they put up 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
That's
one of them might be South Carolina.
So, it might be.
You never know with them old Gamecocks. Never too high, never too low.
Yeah.
That's who that is. So we have Oklahoma State playing on a Thursday night. Pittsburgh, West Virginia. Now this game is more like it.
Yeah.
For like opening football Thursday night football.
That's an opening night game right there, boys. Pittsburgh, West Virginia. I know West Virginia is not what they used to be, but
I think they're going to be. I think the over/under on them is 5 wins.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. I mean, they could sneak up and win a couple and make a bowl game. Tennessee's playing Ball State. Tennessee, surprised they're not ranked. A lot of people are really high on Tennessee in the media.
They are. They are.
South Carolina State goes to Central Florida. No line on that game.
Barn burner.
You can go to that game for, dude, look how much it goes to Pittsburgh. $136 to go to that game. That's crazy.
South Carolina State, Central Florida,
$5. $5 whole dollars.
You're in
Bryant, Florida International. Interesting. But yeah, Wake Forest. I think Wake Forest ended up sliding out of the top 25 just where their quarterback was a main part of their team. Penn State, Purdue on Fox.
That's a game.
This is another game. Interesting that it's kind of combating the ESPN time slot a little bit. An hour later, so you can kind of flip back and forth. Missouri plays Louisiana Tech. $9 to go watch SEC.
Watch an SEC game. Did you go into the Northern Arizona State game? Intrastate rivalry?
Wait a minute. I might go to this football game.
Tickets as low as $13, dude. You can't afford anything out there for $13.
It's just so damn high,
you can
dude.
Sit sideline for $20. Did I just see that?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, nobody goes to this game, but dude, it's it's 7:00 my time, which is 5:00 now. It's 110 degrees right now. So I don't know if I want to go sit out in the sun.
I think I see why people don't go to the games.
Yeah. Most of the time they have night games.
Dude, look at this. We got our stat man.
I know. Johnny's hitting us with the stats.
Most points scored by Vanderbilt since 1969.
Dude, this reminds me of the football team. Now, no longer the Washington football team.
Yeah.
But
hey, could be a game.
It's a weekend full of football because
it is. We got
Labor
Friday.
Day.
We got Thursday night games. We got Friday night games. We got Saturday.
Western Michigan, Michigan State on ESPN on Friday. Virginia Tech, Old Dominion. Hey, Old Dominion's beat Virginia Tech before. We remember.
Mm-hmm. William and Mary doesn't have a link. You can't click on them. They don't exist. Not a real team.
Let me click on. Oh, that's weird.
I'm just scrolling down the schedule.
Temple, Duke, Tennessee Tech, Kansas, TCU, Colorado.
Hey, that could be a game.
That's
10
a game.
PM kickoff my time. Oof. Hey,
That's a
Friday
game.
night though. That is a game. It's a game.
Okay, now we're talking. And then, of course, our Saturday slate will start at 9 a.m. here. Sam Houston, Texas A&M. Where's our A&M boys at? No spread, apparently.
I don't know, man. I'm thinking Sam Houston might take this one. You know?
Colorado State, Michigan. Who you got in this one, Remy?
Michigan.
You think they cover? 30 points is a lot of points.
It is a lot of points. That's a lot of points. Oh, no, man. Is Colorado State any good?
Probably
Colorado
not.
State used to field a decent team.
Yeah, but nah.
Let's take a look. Last year they won 3 football games. Yeah, give me Michigan.
Okay. North Carolina State, East Carolina. I'm going to say, of course, North Carolina State wins the ball game, 11.5. It's at East Carolina. What are we saying for this one?
I do think North Carolina State takes a step back this year. I don't think they're going to finish top 15.
Yeah.
I think they can win this game by 2 touchdowns.
You think so? Okay.
Yeah.
We'll see. We have Rutgers, BC. Who you think is one? You think BC pulls that one out?
Yeah, I think BC wins it. I think it'll be a good game, though.
North Carolina, Appalachian State.
That one's interesting.
Is only a 1.5 point favorite at Boone. Almost a pick 'em. Who you got?
Almost. You know what? Give me App State, dude. I love watching App State play football. I love watching them play football, dude. Ever since that win in the Big House, dude, I'll never forget.
Appalachian State. You always got to kind of root for them. Any other big games here? Bowling Green somehow is playing UCLA. Bowling Green always gets themselves into this situation.
You got the big boy right there.
Now, this is a ball game.
There's the big one.
This is a ball game. I think Oregon maybe is a little overrated, but they do that for clicks purposes. Taking NC is for the week. Huh. We'll see. So we got Oregon playing Georgia in the Mercedes-Benz Dome in Atlanta, which seems a little not fair. UGA 17-point favorite. Who you got?
Georgia, it's a big question mark because their entire defense is in the NFL right now from last year.
Yeah.
So it's a big question mark there, but I still think that it's they're now to that point as a program where it's almost retool instead of rebuild. So I think they're going to pull this one off and cover. Yeah, I think they cover.
17 points is a lot of points.
It is, but it's that opening night too, which could mean something. But Oregon's got to come all the way out here to play essentially a Georgia home game. I think Georgia covers.
There's some money to be made on week ones in the lines.
Oh, there are for sure.
Because if you can kind of get wind of a team and you kind of get behind them pretty good, you can maybe make some money on Vegas because Vegas hasn't nailed them down yet. Like the NFL,
no one knows who these teams are.
Right NFL's the same way, but I'm gonna say Georgia covers as well. 12:30 kick for me, 3:30 kick for you guys. Oklahoma plays UTEP, which on that one. Cincinnati, Arkansas. Shout out Matt Ritter.
That's a game.
Arkansas is only a 6-point favorite. I think Cincinnati's ranked just to be nice to them.
After last year, yeah.
They lost
I think
a lot
Arkansas,
of guys.
Yeah, I think Arkansas wins this game pretty handedly. But it's good to see Cincinnati still ranked.
Yeah.
But I do think Arkansas.
And a cool week one matchup.
Yeah, it is. It is, especially, I mean, and I don't think Cincinnati does win the game, but just imagine if they do come out and win it. I mean, they can kind of put their name back in a little bit of a hat here if they come out and beat an SEC team week one, but I just don't think they're going to.
Yeah. I say Arkansas covers.
Yeah, easily. I don't necessarily think it's going to be that close of a game. Since he had everything go right for them last year, they're replacing very important positions across the board.
$85 go to this ball game? Hold on a second. Arizona, San Diego State. San Diego State's a favorite. $85. What did they do last year? How do I find out their last year's schedule?
Click on their team, go to schedule, and switch it to, there you go.
Well, no wonder. They lost 2 ball games last year.
Yeah.
Fresno and Utah. Utah State beat the hell out of them, but
they went 12-2 last year.
12-2 is a good year.
No wonder why the tickets. You know what? The fan base is fired up at San Diego State.
Yeah, it's a good team.
Yeah, I saw that, Caleb, with the NIL stuff. We're going to talk a little NIL, little Gamecock stuff here in a minute. If Nebraska can't beat North Dakota,
should be a bounce back. Should be a bounce back dub.
Troy, Ole Miss, BYU, South Florida going to Tampa. BYU said they'll play anybody anywhere. It's kind of an interesting game. ESPNU. So maybe one of the worst visually games you'll ever watch in your life. ESPNU's cameras, or it looks like they picked them up.
They're flip phone cameras, bro.
Right. It looks like they was like, all right, remember the cameras we used to use in 2000? Well, they just never got rid of them. They just gave them to ESPNU. So
that's what the budget calls for, dude.
Hand-me-down cameras. Got to use them. Rice, USC, Georgia Southern, and Statesboro. $7. If you're in Statesboro, Georgia Southern's always a fun watch. Utah, Florida.
Utah versus Florida. What an interesting week one matchup.
In Gainesville.
What an interesting matchup. Utah's another one of those teams where they want to kind of prove that last year wasn't a fluke. I think Utah wins that football game.
It's tough to go into Florida and win a football game.
I know.
I don't think Florida's that good this year, however. And I actually think Utah's a good football team. I don't know if they're top 10. We'll see. I think Utah wins and covers. It's 3 points, easy to cover. Utah's got a good football team. We'll see. End up seeing how it all shakes out. Kentucky's ranked 20th. I swear to God.
These are strange times indeed.
We gotta beat Kentucky, Remy.
I mean, I don't know, man.
Damn, Vanderbilt's gonna start 2-0. Wow. The stadium's gonna be going wild.
You say that with so much confidence.
They are. Army Coastal in Conway.
I'll never.
That's a cool game.
That year that Coastal gave
Coastal's a favorite.
Yeah. Coastal's gonna win.
I think I don't know if they still have that quarterback or not. Liberty Southern Miss. Utah State, Alabama. Why did Utah State accept this game?
Yeah, I don't know. Utah State had a good year last year. And they're just going to jump straight into the buzzsaw.
That is Alabama.
Alabama.
Now here's the football game.
This is, of course, the top matchup of the weekend. But, I mean, the media all seems to think Ohio State's going to run away with it. They're currently 17-point favorites in a 2-5 matchup, which is pretty wild. They are 17
That's
point
crazy.
favorites.
That's crazy.
Between number 2 and number 5.
I really like Ohio State. I think Ohio State has a really good football team. Notre Dame, however, is not the 5th best team in the country. They're probably 12th or something, like somewhere in there.
New coach. A lot of change.
17 points. It is in Columbus. The place is going to be jumping.
I do think Ohio State's got a very good team this year. It pains me to say that, but I think Ohio State, I honestly think they covered that. I think they beat them.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. I'm going to watch it. It's going to be an interesting game. It's on ABC, so that'll be interesting. Oh, Texas plays UL Monroe.
Uh-oh. Barn burner.
LSU wins by 30. Boise State, Oregon State. Here we go.
This is what I'm talking about.
This is my kind of game. 7:30 my time.
Yeah.
10:30 your time.
10:30 my time. Let's go, dude. Late night college football. We have a Western Kentucky Hawaii kickoff for me at midnight. So
yeah, that was not even on TV. Like literally, you can't watch it anywhere. Boise State, Oregon State, and Corvallis. Corvallis is a tough place to go.
Yeah.
And then, of course,
we have Sunday football this week.
We'll talk about these two before we talk about Carolina. Sunday, we have Florida State, LSU. Only it's going to be an interesting game. Both of these teams are a little bit in transition. We'll see how they end up shaking out. Yep. It's hard for me to imagine. This is in the Superdome. So that's kind of a cool game.
Yeah.
4:30 Sunday.
Going to be an interesting game. Florida State looked a little bit better than I expected them against Duquesne, because of course I picked Duquesne to win.
LSU by 20.
It'll be an interesting football game. We'll see. LSU's in a, some may say a better situation, but they're in a big transition right now. New coaching staff.
LSU by 40. LSU by 20. We'll see. Clemson, Georgia Tech. Clemson's schedule is the most hilarious thing I've ever seen in my life. There's really not even a line for this game. I fucking hate Clemson.
I mean,
Clemson was out. But overall, some interesting football games.
Yeah, we got some actual games.
This one's interesting.
Some actual games.
I'm going to be watching this one very intently. I'm going to have this one on like another TV or an iPad or something while I watch this one. The 4:00 slot, I just wish they would do a little better job breaking those matchups up. Because you got to look, I mean, the earlies, you had this matchup, the Cincinnati, Arkansas, 12:31. But also, same time, Oregon, Georgia. So, interesting.
Yeah, doing some bouncing back and forth.
And, of course, the real team plays Georgia State at 4:30 my time, 7:30 your time.
Let's go.
Let's go. You'll be outside the game.
Yep. I will be sitting outside of the stadium.
G-Tech by one. Ryan Leaf is in the house.
Ryan Leaf is in here.
What's up, Ryan Leaf?
What's up,
OSU crushes Notre Dame. Hey, we'll see. 17 points is a lot. I definitely think they have way more talent than Notre Dame. But we will see how it all shakes out. We both chose, of course, Ohio State to win. I think we both chose to cover as well.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be particularly close, but we'll see. It's week 1. You never know what you're going to get, but OSU's offense just seems.
Thanks for stopping by, Ryan Leaf. Hit that subscribe button, brother. We appreciate you. Georgia State, South Carolina, 12.5-point favorite.
It's 6. South Carolina by 62. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love what Elliott's done out there. He's made a name for himself. I'm happy for him. Proud of the job he's done, but South Carolina's got to run away with this one, right?
You would hope so.
You would hope so.
If this game is close, then
we in some trouble.
It's going you in trouble. You boys in trouble. It just means more. It does. We'll see. Oh, so, here he is. I haven't seen him in a while. But I tell you what, what's weird? It's like you sprinkle a little South Carolina pixie dust on the mic, and poof.
And they just
Jacob
come out
Stroman.
Of the woodwork, bro.
There he is, a tater himself. Nah, I'm just kidding. I appreciate you stopping by and, of course, hating on South Carolina, which South Carolina can do all on its own. We don't need any help from Clemson fans.
Yeah, you think I need you to talk trash? I talk enough trash about them as it is. I don't know, man. It's one of those things. I've learned to temper my expectations when it comes to the South Carolina Gamecocks. I've learned to kind of take a step back and look at it from a distance and not just being a fan. But I will say, I really love what Shane Beamer's done. I love the fit. I just feel like he fits. My main thing when we hired a new head coach was I said all along, I don't give a shit who it is, as long as they want to be the head coach of the South Carolina Gamecocks. And I can tell you this right now, that man wants to be our head coach. And I think he's done a really good job. It's very interesting how they've kind of taken advantage of the transfer portal more than I necessarily expected for South Carolina. But there's a lot of momentum right now. Whether it means we win a ton of games this year or not, I don't know. But I think the program is going in a very good direction. This Georgia State game should be an easy dub. It's a big challenge week 2 against Arkansas. But I'm just excited to see the team on the field, see what we've got going on, watch Spencer Rattler play. I really love what the running back room looks like. We bring back Josh Vann. I think Jaheim Bell's going to be a star this year. There's some big names on the defense that we're returning. There is reason for excitement in Columbia.
Yeah, Marshawn Lloyd, fully healthy. Everyone's saying he's going to be pretty good. Juju's a great change of pace guy.
This kid that we got, what's his name? Christian Beal Smith.
He's a good senior.
He is yoked.
Yeah.
He is yoked, son. So
yeah, he's an old head, been around the block. We'll see. This is the question mark. We'll see about our wide receivers if they can take a step forward. Of course, everyone's saying Josh Vann had kind of a bad camp, which is interesting. But we know what Josh Vann can do now. He's been pretty much backpacking our sorry asses for a while now. Which hats off to him for sticking with it.
And at the end of the day, like I just said all those names, we got the other tight end kid from Oklahoma.
Jaheim Bell's a beast. We got Austin Stogner.
We've got these pieces outside, but at the end of the day, we've said it till we're blue in the face. None of that matters if we can't block anybody.
Yeah, so, our line just doesn't.
Got to be able to block. 100% got to be able to block. So that's going to determine a lot for this team this upcoming season is whether they can block. I mean, like I said, if we look like that team that played in that Duke's Mayo Bowl,
we'll be okay.
It'll be a good team.
We're going to be a solid football team. So give me your score prediction for the first game.
I think we put up some points. I really think we put up a good number of points here. Give me Give me 40.
Bro, we grind ourselves every day. You got to worry about that. We've never left the ground.
Give me 45 to 17 final.
Jeez, you think we do it like that?
I
I don't think
we should.
Georgia State's not a bad football club.
Yeah, but they shouldn't hang
38-21 is what we end up winning by, I think. Could be 35-21, but I'm gonna go 38 to be on the high side. I don't know. I want to see some stuff. We'll see. Georgia State's a well-coached team. The talent-wise, I mean, we have drastically better talent, but we've had that a lot of times, and we've lost. So we'll see. The NIL deal that happened here. The NIL deal. I don't know if you saw. South Carolina had the NIL deal. Let me Google it real quick. Came out. Now we're the first team to do so. We have we are partnering with a firm, if I recall. Have you seen this, Remy?
Not in detail, no.
Okay, let me go to Twitter and get the exact thing here. Because I don't want to. South Carolina NIL.
You ready for this? Look at this. Look at this. Old Bobo Stan himself, dude.
Dude.
Old Bobo Stan himself.
49-10, 31-17. So this NIL deal is University of South Carolina is the first college to hire an NFL agency to create its own NIL division. Park Avenue Sports will represent student athletes for free and non-exclusive. And this is which company that represents Jonathan Taylor, Mac Jones, Jalen Hurts, Nick Chubb, and others will procure the deals.
Interesting. That's big.
Bag alert. Alert.
That is massive.
Yeah. So we're the first school to do this. It's going crazy right now. But bag alert.
I mean,
people.
Big money for these kids. Big money. And it's
NIL firm.
It is crazy. I think one of the what was it? Miles Brennan, the quarterback from LSU. It's pretty crazy because those NIL deals, they can't be performance based. So they give these kids that money.
They're guaranteed.
Kids just say, "I think I'm done playing." Still got to pay them.
Yep.
Still got to pay them. It's
interesting.
Pretty crazy.
So, Remy, you want to give me we're going to do 3 bold predictions. We don't have a top 5.
We got a good one coming next week.
Saving
a big one for next week.
So, 3 bold predictions for week 1 of college football.
3 bold predictions for week 1 of college football. I think, let me start off with saying, I think Ohio State beats Notre Dame by 4 touchdowns.
Jeez. Okay.
I think they beat the dog shit out of them, if I'm being completely honest. So I will say that's number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, and I don't know if this is so much a bold prediction because it's going to be very generic, but there's going to be, because I think there's always a big time upset. I think you're going to have an unranked team beating a ranked team this week. Now, I can't pinpoint which one that is, but I do think you see a big time upset come week 1. I know I love seeing it. I love seeing the underdogs come through. So I'm thinking you're going to have at least one unranked team beat a ranked team this week. And I'm just scrolling back through these games. Let me see.
While you're looking, one of my bold predictions is going to be East Carolina upsets at home North Carolina State, and that'll be your top 25 upset of the week.
There you go. Calling your shot.
My other bold prediction is Arkansas will not only cover, they will win by 25 points against Cincinnati. And my third bold prediction is Utah goes into the swamp and hangs 40 up.
40. All right.
It's gonna be a high score.
I'm gonna say my other one is I think App State's gonna beat North Carolina.
That's okay.
App State wins that game.
Bijan march to the Heisman begins Saturday. Well, you play nobody, bud. But hey, football's here.
This is them weeks you got to put up them big numbers.
We did it. We did it.
What's today? Tuesday. We are on Thursday night.
We did it, boys. We did it. So, real quick before we get out of here, just a little more housekeeping stuff. Look out for the spotlight stuff. We're gonna jump off this live and we're gonna go finish up the AFC South, and I'll be posting that tonight. So tune into that. Comment, like, subscribe, YouTube, all the good stuff. Blah blah blah. Next week we will be going live on Tuesday and Thursday. We're going to talk some football. We're going to talk some fantasy on Thursday. We're also going to have to be having the game on. So we're not going to be streaming it, but it'll be on in the background. So we'll kind of maybe talk some. Maybe we have like a little watch along or something. We'll see about that. We'll see how that ends up shaking out. So tune in for that. And of course, next Tuesday, our live will be NFL based synergy wise. We're going to be looking at a lot of schedules, do more predictions, give our breakdowns, who wins MVPs, those kind of things, the stuff that we need to write down to look like idiots on. And once again, all you guys, Remy's got a big weekend ahead of him. He's Saturday. He's going to go tailgate for the Carolina game. Then he's going to go camp outside Darlington. Sunday, he's going to go to the race and go camp. I'm pretty jealous.
Week 1 NASCAR playoffs, dude.
I'm pretty jealous.
Pretty excited, dude. Got Darlington last year in the regular season. Got to go to the Nashville race this year. Big rain delay, didn't catch the end of it. So I'll be pretty excited about catching this one, and especially with so much on the line. So pretty excited about that. Alan, you missed it, bud. We started with NASCAR. It was the first thing we talked about today was NASCAR. Your driver Suarez, I root for William Byron. Byron's had such an awful past like 3 months. It's tough to be excited about my driver going into it. But we got an interest. This was a new year for NASCAR. They came out with their new next-gen cars, and it really leveled the playing field. They had the most different winners they've ever had in a season. We had, 15 of the 16 playoff cars are winners. So 15 different people won races, which is the most they've ever had. So it was a different year, really leveled the field. Last year's champion was Kyle Larson. He won 7 or 8 races by himself last year. We didn't have that this year. I think the most was 3. So we will see. It really leveled it out. So I'm pretty excited.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Maybe I too start watching a little bit. How they're still here, just way behind. Hey, we talk a little Arkansas. So enjoy it. Lock it in. Shout out to Rory, PGA champion. About to rewatch the beginning. 15 beers for Remy. I'm going under. Remy's a bitch now.
It's a safe bet.
Still here way behind. Not watching live. Austin Cindric won Rookie of the Year. There you go. There's the breakdown of the NASCAR. I'm going to start watching a little bit of it. We'll talk more about it on live. I did watch the last lap of last race.
Pretty wild race.
Pretty nuts. You got anything we can say before we get out of here?
It's Christmas. Football's back. It's just nonstop from here. Week 0 was fun, But now we got a full slate of games Thursday night, Friday, Saturday, even a Sunday and a Monday college football game rolling straight into next week when we get our NFL season back on next Thursday night. Be on the lookout. We are going to be rolling out these NFL spotlights pretty hard and heavy. Try and get them all out before the season starts. So find your team, watch it, give us your thoughts. Like, share, subscribe, click the bell on YouTube so you know when we go live.
Boom! That'll be it for me and Remember Easy and the Hard Pass crew. Hey, everybody, football's back, baby. Go enjoy your Labor Day weekend. Please be safe. Safe travels, everybody. Drink responsibly and enjoy your off day. We'll holler at y'all next week. Peace.
Peace.